Hello everybody, this is Joyce and you're in the studio with Joyce. Thank you for tuning in today. I am going to show you how to create these beautiful backgrounds like Susan Tierney Coburn uses on her channel over at Susan's Garden Club on Facebook. I'm going to show you how to create these backgrounds using water-based dye ink like this. It comes in a powdered form, and you're going to create these beautiful backgrounds using some of these colors. So I wanted to show you this one right here is actually made on Elizabeth Craft Designs 85-pound, just plain 85-pound cardstock. It's not watercolor paper or anything like that, and that just looks so amazingly watercolored, meticulous, and it's beautiful. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm also going to show you how to create backgrounds like this on glossy photo paper. So you can use up all that pesky photo paper that you have laying around and you don't know what to do with. Now you will. And then I'm also going to show you how to create an alcohol ink looking effect on the photo paper using a stencil. So let me show you what you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is some sort of pigment paint like this. This happens to be Magenta Nuance, and I got it from Els at Elizabeth Craft Designs, and I'd like to say thank you so much, Els, for making sure that I got these from you. I know I forgot them at the expo when I was there, but thank you so much for getting this to me. I really appreciate that. You're going to need some cardstock if you're going to do it on cardstock. If you're going to do it on photo paper, I recommend the HP glossy advanced photo paper, and I'm trying to find the package so I can show you what it looks like, but it's the HP brand, and it's very important that you use that specific kind because I have tried other ones like this one and it just did not come out as nicely as this HP one does for some reason. I'm not sure why it comes out so beautifully, but it does. So that's what I use, is the HP Glossy Advanced Photo Paper. And to me it looks like kind of like Yupo. It responds the same way, so that's kind of why I liked it. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to use that. You're going to need a roll of paper towels. You're going to need some sort of mister bottle with water in it. And then you're going to need just good old-fashioned coffee filters. So I use, and it doesn't matter whether they're the natural ones or you know, the white ones, it doesn't matter because you're just going to end up using them and throwing them away anyway. So what I do with the coffee filters, because normally they're all rolled up and wrinkly, you know, like this, and when you try to put that down on the photo paper, it doesn't want to do anything. You know, it kind of messes it up, and no matter how you smooth it, it's not going to lay flat. So what I do is I just take my my little mister bottle and I just spritz it ever so slightly, and that gets it wet enough to smooth out, and then you have a flat disc that you can use. So that's how I do that. The first one that I'm going to show you is going to be on the glossy photo paper. Now this is the trick. You got to put the coffee filter on top of the photo paper just like that. Then you're going to take whatever colors that you are going to use. I'm going to use these three pinky kind of colors just to, and what I do is you take a stick pin and you poke it through the top and it becomes a shaker, so you don't have to open up the canister. Now I know that Stampin' Up! Sells some called Brusho. I know that Ken Oliver has some, Tonic has some that they call shimmer powders. So it really doesn't matter as long as it's powdered form and it activates with water. So, so you just shake it on there in any kind of order that you feel necessary. I just do it randomly. That way it's more of a random effect, but I imagine you could probably do it in a swirl or something of that nature. And then I'm going to do the coral. So you can see it doesn't look like a whole lot of anything at this moment. Just looks like a bunch of powder on a coffee filter. But wait until we add the water. Once we add that water, oh, it's magic. All right, you ready? So we're gonna start spritzing it. Have your paper towels ready. And you can see, now see how these bubbles kind of form in the paper? I just spread it out really gently. And then I keep spraying it. Now you want a lot of water on here because you want this color to run all over the piece of paper. Okay, and just when you think you've got too much water on there, you don't. It actually works really well. I take my paper towel roll and I just roll it across, and that absorbs all the extra water and color so that you don't make a big gigantic mess. So you're gonna peel back the coffee filter, and here's where the magic happens. Isn't that amazing? And you still have all of this color on this this coffee filter that if you let it dry, you can actually reactivate it. See, you got all this color on here. You can actually reactivate it and use it again. So I just take my paper towel and dry off all the excess water. Now the neat thing about this paper is that once that color sets on there, it's not going anywhere. So it's not gonna run. If you get more water on it, it's trapped. It's like a picture now, and it's not gonna go anywhere. You can stamp on this, you can die cut it, there's a whole variation of things that you can do with it. So I kind of think that's neat. So the next thing I'm gonna show you after I clean off my desk here, because you don't want to contaminate your colors. So I'm just gonna clean up real quick because there's water and color all over this desk. Okay, so now the next one I'm gonna do, we are gonna use the photo paper again. We're gonna use a clean coffee filter, and we're gonna use a stencil. So what I like to do is I like to take the stencil, whichever one you're gonna use, and I'm gonna use this one, and I lay it over top of the photo paper. Then you're gonna lay your coffee filter on top, smooth it out. And what do you say we do green, several different colors of green? How about that? Because I have 4 different greens here. So let's do one in green because I haven't done one yet that's all green. So you just shake your powder on here just like you would. Sorry for the tapping. I know that's annoying, but okay, so there's one green. There's 2 greens. Green, green, green. Oops. Runaway color. Okay, this is a darker green. And I think these magenta colors actually have some other colors in there besides just the, you know, like I think it might have a little bit of yellow or flecks of different colors. Because when you wet it, sometimes you'll get a little orange in there, or you'll get a little red, and you're like, oh, I didn't put the red on there. So I think it comes in the color. I think there's a couple of other things in there. Okay, so what you do now, again, you're gonna take your water bottle and you're gonna spritz it just like you did the other one. Look at that color come alive. And you're gonna spritz it really, really well. Now, once it starts to adhere to the paper, that's where I just kind of pull it, because you don't want any air bubbles. You want it to soak right into that stencil. Look at that. Okay, see it? So now we're gonna take our paper towel. And actually, before I do that, I see that all of my color is on here. So I'm just gonna take this off like so. And I'm gonna flip it over because there is color on here. And I'm going to allow this to soak it up. Peel it off again. I'm gonna take my paper towels. Now the neat thing about this too is that you can layer it. So in other words, all of this color that I have on here, once it's trapped inside of that glossy photo paper, you can actually take it like this and add another layer of color on top and make it different colors. You could use different colors altogether, or you could just layer another darker color from your coffee filter, which is what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to absorb some of this ink. See, nothing's wasted. You know, you just really, you want to dab it on there because your stencil's not going anywhere. You can actually grab some of this ink and blot it on there, because once that color is trapped in there to begin with, it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just dabbing in and filling in all the holes to make sure we have adequate coverage. And then I'm going to use my paper towels to grab any excess color or something that's on it. And then I'm going to peel off the stencil. This is what the amazing part is. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Can you see all that modeling in there? Let me see if I can bring it closer to the camera. Isn't that neat? I just think that's neat. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. I got to clean this off so we can have a clean surface for the next one. And I could just do this all day. As long as I have enough photo paper, I could just do this over and over and over again, because no two pieces are going to come out the same. They just are not going to come out the same. So the next stencil I'm going to use, we're going to use the Elizabeth Craft Design cardstock. And I'm going to use this doily stencil. I've never used this before, so we're going to try this together and see how it comes out. So again, you're going to put your stencil over the top of it. You're going to put your coffee filter down. Let me get a flat one. You're going to put your coffee filter down. Oh, this has got some green on it. I don't want green at all because I'm going to use pinks. So there's my coffee filter. And I think I'm going to use this berry. It's like a purplish color. I think I'm going to use that. And I think I am just going to use okay, so there's my berry. And what do you say, a little bit of olive. Okay, so just a little bit of olive. So we've got berry and olive on here. And then let's do maybe some little bit of orange, just to give it a flair. Okay, so we're going to use our water again. Spritz it. Oh, look at that color coming alive already. Oh, that's gonna be so pretty. Okay, remember I told you we're gonna want to spread it out. Make sure there's no air bubbles, because we want it to soak into the stencil. My water bottle is futzing right now. Okay, so let's see. All right, you can actually see the color going around the stencil, and that is just, you can see it veining. Look at that right there. Isn't that neat? So as you push it down, you can actually see the color trying to go underneath. All right, so at this point I don't want it to get any more wet, because I want the color to not leach underneath the stencil. Maybe just a little bit. Sorry, my dryer is going off. You know, moms that multitask. All right, so we're gonna take our paper towels, and we're going to absorb any excess water and color that we have on there. We're gonna lift up our coffee filter, and it did not transfer at all. That was interesting. Maybe I didn't get it wet enough. See? I think my water bottle is empty, y'all, so let me grab a full one. Okay. Intermission. Okie doke. Let's try this again. Sorry. JK, LOL. Okay, now let's see if that was enough color. Okay, now our paper towel to absorb the water. And let's lift up our coffee filter. And then I'm going to take my paper towel and dab that extra water off of there. Now, I see that there's still a bunch of white spots. So again, I'm going to take my coffee filter that I just used, and I'm just going to dab it in spots, you know, just to get the paper wet. Okay. So what I can do right now, if I wanted to, I could actually take and lift this up and have it just exactly like it is right now. But I think what I'm going to do, just because I like to play, is I'm going to add another layer of color. So let's do something like, I don't know, let's do some purple. Okay, let's do a little bit of purple. And I'm just going to do it in selective areas because I want certain areas. So see, you can layer it, which is what I'm liking about this. Okay, now we got it. All right, now again with the water, smooth it out so that it actually gets onto the paper. Soak it up in there. This is going to be so pretty, y'all. And you can just keep adding it. I'm going to get my trusty paper towels. I'm going to lift up my coffee filter. I'm going to lift up my stencil. And there you go. You have hints of that stencil in there. Can you see that right there on the edge? And so it just makes it, gives it a new, fresh kind of look on the paper, and I'm just absorbing the water with the rest of the paper towels. So that's the second one, and we're going to set this aside and let it dry. Now the last one that I'm going to do, after I clean up my mess here, the last one I'm going to do is a fall themed one, and I'm going to take my photo paper again. Now this time I'm going to have a very specific way of putting on the color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in corners. So in other words, I'm only going to put orange over here. Okay, and then I'm going to take the green, this olive green, and I'm going to put it only over here. Now see, this is where the random becomes not random. Okay, so there's that. We got the orange, the dark orange. Let's get a little bit of light orange right here. And we're gonna put this in this color, in this corner. does not want to come out right now. Oops, sorry for hitting the camera, guys. It's hard to see. Okay, so we have that one. And then I'm gonna say this light lime green, it looks like. It's kind of a limey green. And we're gonna put this in this corner. Chartreuse is what it's called. Okay, so now I really didn't put much in the middle. So I'm going to take this berry color and just kind of put a little bit in the middle. That's it. Now, we are going to spritz it. Kind of stretch it just a little bit so that it's making contact with the paper, no air bubbles. Now we are going to let all of that run together. Okay? And if we need to add a little bit more water, we can. All right, now we take our paper towels and we're going to run over it again with the paper towel. Oop, apologies. We're going to run it over with the paper towel. We are going to lift the coffee filter. And OMG, isn't that pretty? Now, just to show you something, all of this color that's still trapped on this coffee filter right here, we can absolutely put another piece down because there's a lot of that color on there still. And we can reapply. You can see it already right there. Reapply it to another sheet. To me, this kind of reminds me of like jelly plating, where you can just do it over and over and over again and keep getting different results every time. There's a little blue in there even that I didn't put in. All right, lift the coffee filter. And you just created another less vibrant, less, version of it. And the neat thing about this paper is that it just traps it directly in there, and you can't, like, whatever you do to it, you won't be able to undo that color. All you'll do is add on top of it, like I'm getting ready to right here. I want some more color on top of there. So yeah, there, we're just putting more color, and there we go. So that's that. Let me put that aside to dry, and this one aside to dry, and clean up my mess. So these are how these backgrounds are created. The surface that you're putting it on really makes a difference in how it turns out. So just experiment with other papers and other different types of media, and you'll notice that you're going to get a masterpiece every time that you do it. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Let's take a look at the ones that we did. So we have this fall one. We have the remainder of the color that was from this one. We have our muted on Elizabeth Craft Designs paper, our muted stencil one, and we have our green stencil one that looks like bubbles. I bet if you did that in blue, that would be really pretty, in bubbles. So that's how you do and achieve that background. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up, and if you get a chance, go over to Elizabeth Craft Designs and check out Susan's new release of flowers, because she uses these backgrounds with her flowers and it just makes a beautiful piece of art. So thank you again for watching, and thanks again, Els, for sending me these paints, and thank you, Susan, for being a constant inspiration to all of your paper gardeners. Have a great day, guys. Bye.